Hello, my dear soul brothers and sisters in recovery. My name is Vas Solo. I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic, a practicing yogi, and a certified meditation coach. And this is my page, Recovery Plus, where I help you have a stronger recovery. The big question is, how can people like us, who are in recovery from addiction, who want to be happy, joyous, and free, what are the things that we need to do in order to be successful and to grow into who we are meant to become? That is the big question, and this show will give you the answer. Nietzsche said that he who has a why can bear any how. What he meant by that is that if we have a singular purpose in life, that is our overarching mission, that we can overcome any challenge that we face in order to accomplish it. So my question to you is, what is your singular purpose or mission in life? And if you don't have one, don't feel bad. It's never too late to find out what that is. Now, before I went into recovery from addiction, I didn't really have a purpose. I felt very distant from the world and from anything that was happening around me. All I knew was my life of drinking and using drugs, and then whatever else I had to do throughout the week. But when I went into recovery, my purpose became to recover, to be sober and clean. And that's what drove me to work all the 12 steps, and that's how I had that spiritual experience that relieved me from the obsession that drove me to drink and use every single weekend, and that led me to ruining my life. Now, as I was working the steps and I connected to the spirituality of the program, and I started to pray and meditate, and I started to read spiritual books, I began to be possessed by a different kind of purpose. My purpose was still to grow spiritually, but I also started to feel like this gift that I was given, this recovery, and also this realization that there's much more to life than just the material world, that I had to pass that on to other people. It wasn't some sort of egotistical purpose that I felt like I wanted to be on stage or to become famous. There was just this deep and honest desire to share what I had gone through and what I had experienced and what I had found with the rest of the world. And so in my head, I began to have certain ideas of how that was going to happen. One of the things that really helped me a lot to put a plan together was doing this program online called self-authoring. It's a program created by the very now famous psychologist, Dr. Jordan Peterson. So I found out about it by listening to his podcast, and so the podcast got me to do the program. And when I was doing the program, there was this exercise there where I had to create a past scenario, or sorry, I should say a nightmare scenario of what would happen if I didn't recover and if I didn't try to pursue my dream. And then a dream scenario of what could possibly happen if I did recover and I stayed on the right path and I went along with my dream. And before I did those, I also had to write out what that dream was. What is it that I wanted to accomplish in the next 5 years? And if I recall correctly, when I was writing that out, I was talking about how I wanted to share what I had learned in recovery and from the spiritual path with other people so that they could also either recover from their addiction or be inspired to do so, or they could also find that unconditional happiness that I was starting to experience. And I wrote it out in more detail than that. I talked about, writing books and going around the world lecturing and starting a YouTube channel. So I wrote all of that out, even though I was very fresh in recovery and a part of me didn't really believe that I could do it, but it's something that I wanted to do. And so the exercise asked me to fearlessly put it down on paper. So that's what I did. Now, fast forward to about 4.5 years later, which is today's time, I'm not traveling the world. I haven't written a book yet, but I do have a YouTube channel, and I've put together a meditation course, and I've been doing quite a lot of things on social media, and it's been incredibly fulfilling, and it's caused me to grow so much more than I had ever expected. And I think that had I not done that exercise and was daring enough to dream and to pursue this singular purpose, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because even though I haven't accomplished all the things that I set out to do, at least not yet, I'm not anywhere near done or ready to give up on it, even though I didn't accomplish any of that stuff, I've made so much progress, not only in those plans, but internally. I've had to overcome so many different aspects of myself. I had to develop so many different skills. And so just going through that process with that singular goal driving me towards it has been its own reward. So, if you have a purpose like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know that every day that you wake up, you can't wait to continue your journey in trying to fulfill that purpose. And if you don't have that, then I highly recommend that you find it, because it's one of the key central aspects of living that makes life incredibly satisfying and worth it. Without it, we become aimless. Without it, we have nothing to strive for. Without it, we have nothing that's going to challenge us and to draw out our potential. And even though you might be afraid to even look at the possibilities or even write it down, I highly encourage you to overcome that fear and to give it a shot. Because believe me, once you have that vision, nothing is going to be able to stop you. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Joy to you.